Hana Kim stood in the training hall and watched the other cadets practice their combat moves. The ceiling stretched high above her head, maybe 10 stories tall. Large windows showed the stars outside. This was Station Kepler 9, floating in space far from Earth. She had been here for 6 months now, and still, the other species looked at her like she was made of glass. A massive creature walked past her. Its skin was thick like armor, colored deep purple. Sharp claws clicked against the metal floor. This was a Bulgarian, one of the warrior species in the Galactic Defense Coalition. The creature was called Rix. He looked down at Hana and made a sound like laughing. "Human," Rix said. His voice was deep and rough. "You should not be here. This is a place for warriors, not for soft things." Hana did not answer. She had learned that saying nothing worked better than arguing. Rix wanted her to react. He wanted her to show fear or anger. She gave him neither. Doyen Park, her training partner, walked up beside her. He was 21 years old, 1 year younger than Hana. They had come from Earth together on the same transport ship. They had known each other since the selection trials back home. "Ignore him," Doyen said quietly. "He is just trying to make you angry." "I know," Hana replied. She kept her face calm and empty. Commander Vexel entered the training hall. He was Korthian, a species with long arms and pale blue skin. His eyes were large and black like deep pools. He was their main instructor for combat training. He did not like humans much. Hana could tell by the way he always gave them the hardest tasks and the least help. "Line up," Commander Vexel called out. His voice echoed in the big room. "Today we practice team tactics. You will work in groups of 4. The cadets moved quickly to form groups. Hana and Doyen stood together. A Thessian named Nira joined them. She had green skin and moved with grace. Her people were diplomats and traders. She was one of the few aliens who spoke to the humans with respect. "We need one more," Nira said. Her voice was soft and musical. A young Korthan walked over. His name was Talos. He was small for his species, only a bit taller than the humans. His people had brown fur and large ears that could hear sounds humans could not. "I will join your group," Talos said. He did not sound happy about it, but he was not cruel like Rix. Commander Vexil explained the training exercise. They would move through a mock battlefield. There would be obstacles and fake enemies. They had to work together to reach the end zone. The team with the best time would get extra rest days. "Humans," Commander Vexil said, looking directly at Hana and Doyen. "Try not to slow down your team. I know your species is not built for this work, but do your best." Hana felt the anger rise in her chest, but she pushed it down. She had learned to control her emotions here. Earth Command had trained all the human cadets before sending them to the Coalition. They were told to appear weak. They were told to let the aliens underestimate them. First contact was only 3 years ago. Humanity was still new to the galaxy. It was better to seem harmless. The exercise began. Hana's team moved through the course. Nira used her natural flexibility to climb obstacles. Talos used his hearing to detect the location of fake enemies before they appeared. Doyen was fast and good at planning. Hana covered their backs and watched for threats they missed. They finished the course in good time. Not the fastest, but better than most teams. Commander Vexil looked surprised but said nothing. Rix's team finished last. The big Bulgarian was angry. His species believed in strength above all else. Coming in last place was shameful to him. He blamed his teammates even though everyone could see it was his fault. He had charged ahead without planning, setting off traps that slowed them down. After the exercise, the cadets went to the dining hall. It was a large room with tables for different species. Some aliens needed different temperatures or air mixtures, so the hall had special sections. Humans could breathe the standard atmosphere, which was lucky. Hana and Doyen sat together. They ate the food that had been prepared for human biology. It did not taste like home food, but it kept them healthy. "Rix is getting worse," Doyen said between bites. "He looks at us with hate now." "He hates that we are not afraid of him," Hana said. "His people respect strength. He thinks we are weak, so we should bow to him." "Should we report him to the commander?" Hana shook her head. "Vexil will not help us. He thinks the same way Rix does." "We are alone here, Doyen. We only have each other." Doyen nodded slowly. He knew she was right. The two humans had an agreement. They watched each other's backs. If one was in danger, the other would come. No matter what. This was the human way. The aliens did not understand it yet. Nira sat down at their table. This was unusual. Most aliens did not want to be seen with humans too much. I wanted to warn you, Nira said quietly. I heard Rix talking to his friends. He plans to challenge one of you. In his culture, he can demand a combat trial to prove dominance. Can he do that? Doyen asked. Is it allowed by the rules? Technically, yes, Nira said, if both parties agree. But you can refuse. However, refusing would mark you as cowards in the eyes of many species here. Hana felt cold inside. A combat trial with Rix would be deadly. Bulvarians were huge and armored. Their claws could cut through metal. A human would have no chance in a fair fight. Thank you for telling us, Hana said to Nira. You are a good friend. Nira smiled. Your species is interesting. I have been studying Earth's culture. You are much tougher than you appear. I think others here have made a mistake by judging you too quickly. After Nira left, Hana and Doyun sat in silence. The dining hall was full of noise. Aliens of many species talked and ate. Ships could be seen through the windows coming and going from the station. If he challenges me, Doyen said, I will have to accept. If I refuse, it will make all humans look weak. Earth Command needs us to succeed here. Then we make sure you are ready, Hana said. Her voice was hard. We train harder. We learn his weaknesses. If it comes to a fight, we make sure you win. Doyen looked at his friend. They had been through a lot together. Selection trials on Earth, the long trip through space, 6 months of being treated like children by species who did not understand them. Through it all, they had stayed strong. Together, Doyen said. Together, Hana agreed. They did not know that in 2 days, everything would change. They did not know that Rix would do something that broke every rule. They did not know that the galaxy was about to learn what humans really were. For now, they finished their meal and prepared for the next day of training. They were patient. Patience was a human skill. Humans could wait. Humans could endure. And when the time came, humans could do what was necessary. The station continued its orbit. The stars shined cold and distant. And in the training hall, Rick sharpened his claws and planned his revenge for the shame he felt. The combat deck was designed to test cadets in real battle conditions. It was a maze of corridors and rooms with metal walls and flickering lights. Today's exercise was supposed to be simple. Mixed teams would hunt each other with stun weapons. Get hit and you were out of the game. First team to capture the central objective would win. Hana checked her weapon. It was a standard coalition stun rifle. Heavy, but she had learned to handle it. The weapon fired blue bolts of energy that would knock out most species for about 10 minutes. Humans went down for maybe 5 minutes. Their biology was different. Stay sharp, Doyen said to her. They were on opposite teams today. Commander Vexel had split them up on purpose. He said they relied on each other too much. He wanted them to learn to work with other species. You too, Hana said. Watch your corners. The teams separated into different starting zones. Hana was with Nira and 2 others she did not know well. Doyen's team had Talos and 2 Korthan warriors, and Rix. The big Bulvarian had been placed on Doyen's team. Hana did not like this. She had a bad feeling in her stomach. But the exercise had to happen. She pushed her worry down and focused. The lights changed from red to green. The exercise began. Hana's team moved through the corridors carefully. Nira was good at sensing vibrations through the floor. She could tell when other teams were near. They avoided 2 ambushes and made it close to the objective. Then Hana heard something that made her freeze. It was the sound of weapons fire, but wrong. Stun rifles made a soft humming sound when they fired. This sound was sharp and loud, like real ammunition. Did you hear that? She asked Nira. Hear what? Nira replied. Her species heard different frequencies than humans. Hana's heart started beating faster. Something was wrong. The sound came from the section where Doyen's team should be. She knew Doyen's route. They had studied the deck layout together last night. I need to check something, Hana said. Keep going to the objective. We should stay together, Nira said, but Hana was already moving. She ran through the corridors following the sound. Her training kicked in. She moved quietly despite her speed. Her weapon was up and ready. In another section of the combat deck, Doyen was in trouble. His team had split up to cover more ground. He was alone in a corridor junction when Rix and his 2 Bulvarian friends appeared. Hello, human, Rix said. His voice was full of hate. You made me look weak in training. You made me come last. Now I will teach you the price of shaming a Bulvarian warrior. The exercise is not about revenge, Doyen said calmly. We are supposed to be training together. Training? Rix laughed. It was an ugly sound. I am teaching you. Teaching you that humans do not belong here. Teaching you that weak species should stay on their soft planets. Doyen noticed something that made his blood run cold. Rix's weapon was different. The color was wrong. Instead of the blue glow of a stun rifle, it had the red glow of live ammunition. Your weapon, Doyen said. That is against the rules. Change it back to stun mode. No, Rix said. I changed it in the armory before we started. I want you to understand real fear. I want you to know what combat truly is. Doyen started backing away. He needed to get to cover. He needed to call for help. But Rix was faster than he looked. The big alien charged forward, his claws scraping the metal floor. Run, little human, Rix laughed. Run like the prey you are. Doyen turned and ran. He spoke into his comm unit. Command, this is Cadet Park. Emergency. Rix has live ammunition. Requesting immediate. The shot hit him in the back. The impact threw Doyen forward. He hit the ground hard. Pain exploded through his chest. He could not breathe. His hands touched his chest and came away red with blood. Human blood. His blood. Rix walked closer. You see? You are weak. Your species is weak. You break so easily. Another shot hit Doyen, then another. His vision started to go dark. He could hear alarms now. The medical sensors had detected lethal wounds. Help was coming. But Doyen knew it was too late. He had seen enough death to know. He was dying. His last thought was of Hana. He hoped she would be safe. He hoped she would not do anything stupid to avenge him. In the control room, chaos erupted. The monitors showed Doyen's vital signs dropping. They showed Rix standing over the fallen human with a weapon that should not have had live rounds. Lock down the combat deck, Commander Vexel shouted. Get medical teams in there now. How did he get live ammunition? But the technicians were staring at another screen. They were watching Hana Kim. Her vital signs were changing. Her heart rate was increasing rapidly. Her body temperature was rising. Chemicals were flooding her bloodstream. Adrenaline, cortisol, things the aliens had never seen in these quantities. What is happening to her? A technician asked. I do not know, Vexel said, but she is moving toward Rix's position. Hana had heard the shots. She had heard the medical alarm. She knew what it meant. She started running. Not the careful tactical movement from before. Full speed. Her boots pounded against the metal floor. Her weapon was in her hands, but she was not thinking about using it. She was thinking about Doyen. Her friend. Her partner. The person who had her back for 6 months in this place where everyone treated them like garbage. The person from home. The last piece of earth she had here. She turned a corner and saw him. Doyen was on the ground. Blood was spreading around him. Too much blood. His eyes were closed. He was not moving. Rick stood over him. The Bulgarian was laughing with his two friends. They thought this was funny. They thought killing a human was entertainment. Something broke inside Hana, not her mind. Her mind was very clear. It was the chains that Earth Command had put on her. The rules they told her to follow. The orders to appear weak. To let the aliens underestimate her. To be harmless, all of that broke. Rick saw her. Another human. Come to collect your dead friend? Do not worry. I will let you carry him away. I have made my point. Hana dropped her stun rifle. She walked forward. Her face was empty of emotion. Her eyes were cold. You should run, Hana said quietly. Her voice was calm, flat. You should run right now. Rix laughed harder. Run from you? You are even smaller than your friend. What will you do, little human? Cry at me? Hana reached into her boot and pulled out something small. It was a knife. Not a weapon from the Coalition. A knife from Earth. She had kept it hidden. Against the rules. But humans did not always follow rules when rules did not make sense. Last chance, Hana said. Run. Rix raised his weapon at her. His friends did the same. 3 Bulgarians with guns against 1 human with a knife. They thought she was insane. They thought she was going to die. They were wrong about a lot of things. The combat deck sensors recorded everything. The security cameras captured every moment. What happened next would be studied by military analysts across the galaxy for years to come. Hana moved. Not like the careful cadet they had been training. Not like the weak human they all thought she was. She moved like what humans really were. Predators. Apex predators from a death world. Evolution's perfect hunters wrapped in soft skin. The first Bulgarian did not even have time to fire his weapon. Hana was inside his guard, her knife finding the weak spot in his throat. The place where armor did not grow. He went down making wet, choking sounds. The second one got a shot off. It missed. Hana had already moved. She hit his knee joint. It bent backward. He fell. She was on him before he hit the ground. Her knife went into his eye, deep into the brain behind it. Rix finally understood his mistake. He fired wildly, but Hana was not where he aimed. She was moving constantly, flowing like water around his attacks. She jumped and kicked his gun arm. The weapon flew away. Rix swung his claws at her. They could cut through metal, but they had to hit her first. Hana ducked under the swing. She drove her knife into his armpit. Where the armor plates did not cover, she twisted the blade. Rix screamed. He grabbed at her with his other arm. His claws caught her shoulder, tearing her uniform. Drawing blood, Hana did not seem to notice. She pulled the knife out and stabbed again, and again, finding every weak spot, every gap in his natural armor. Rix fell to his knees. He was dying. He knew it now. He looked up at this small human and finally understood. They were not weak. They were not prey. They were just very good at pretending. Hana stepped behind him. She put one hand on his head. The other hand, holding the knife, moved across his throat. Not the shallow throat where his armor protected. The deep structural throat. The spine, the knife was not big enough for a clean cut, so Hana used his own ceremonial blade, the one he wore on his belt. The one that was razor sharp because Bulgarian honor demanded it. The blade cut through. Rix's head came free from his body. 23 seconds had passed since. Hana entered the corridor. In the control room, everyone was silent. They stared at the screens in horror. Hana picked up the head. She started walking toward the exit, toward where the security teams would be waiting, toward where Commander Vexil would be. She was covered in purple Bulgarian blood. It dripped from her hair. It soaked her uniform. She carried Rix's head by its cranial ridge, and she walked like she had all the time in the world. The security footage would be analyzed 1,000 times after that day. Frame by frame, second by second, military experts from 24 species would study it. They would try to understand what they saw. They would try to explain how it was possible. At 0 seconds, Hana Kim entered the corridor. The timestamp on the video was clear. Her face showed no expression. Her body was relaxed. She walked with steady steps toward 3 Bulgarian warriors who stood over a fallen human. Rix was in the middle. His 2 friends flanked him. All 3 were larger than Hana, much larger. A Bulgarian warrior stood 8 feet tall on average. Their bodies were covered in natural armor plates. Their claws could tear through steel. Their strength was legendary across the galaxy. Hana Kim was 5 feet and 6 inches tall. She weighed 130 pounds. By every logical measure, she should have died in the next few seconds. At 2 seconds, she dropped her stun rifle. The weapon clattered on the floor. Rix and his friends looked at each other. They were confused. Was the human surrendering? Was she accepting her death? At 3 seconds, Hana spoke. The audio was clear on the recording. "Last chance, run." Her voice was calm, empty of emotion. This was not rage. This was something else. Something colder. At 4 seconds, Rix raised his weapon. He was still laughing. The sound echoed in the corridor. His friends raised their weapons too. 3 guns against 1 unarmed human. At 5 seconds, Hana moved. Later, experts would slow down the footage. They would measure her speed. They would calculate her trajectory. They would try to explain it using physics and biology, but no explanation seemed adequate for what they saw. Hana covered 15 feet in less than 1 second. She was not just running, she was flowing. Every movement had purpose, no wasted energy. No hesitation. At 6 seconds, she reached the first Bulgarian, the one on Rix's left. Her hand moved faster than the camera could properly track. Something flashed. The knife from her boot, it went into the Bulgarian's throat. The Bulgarian had thick skin. Armor plating covered most of his body. But every species had weak points, joints, eyes, throats, places where armor could not grow without restricting movement. Hana found these places. At 7 seconds, the first Bulgarian fell. He clutched his throat. Purple blood sprayed between his fingers. His weapon dropped. He made sounds like he was drowning, because he was. Drowning in his own blood. At 8 seconds, the second Bulgarian fired his weapon. The shot lit up the corridor. But Hana was not there anymore. She had moved. The shot hit the wall behind where she had been. At 9 seconds, Hana hit the second Bulgarian's knee. She kicked it from the side. The joint was not designed to bend that direction. It broke with a sound like cracking wood. The Bulgarian screamed and fell. At 10 seconds, Hana was on top of the falling Bulgarian. Her knife moved again, this time to his eye. The blade went in deep. Through the eye, through the socket, into the brain. At 11 seconds, the second Bulgarian stopped moving. He was dead before he hit the ground. At 12 seconds, Rix finally understood. His face changed. The laughter stopped. Fear appeared in his eyes, real fear. He tried to aim his weapon at Hana. At 13 seconds, Hana was already moving. She ran straight at Rix. He fired. The shot went wide. She was too fast, too unpredictable. At 14 seconds, Hana jumped. She kicked the weapon from Rix's hand. The gun flew across the corridor and clattered against the wall. At 15 seconds, Rix swung his claws at her. They were like knives. They could cut through armor. They could tear through metal doors. But they needed to connect. They needed to hit. At 16 seconds, Hana ducked under the swing. She was inside his reach now. Too close for his claws to be effective. Her knife found his armpit, where the armor plate separated to allow arm movement. The blade went in deep. At 17 seconds, Rick screamed. He tried to grab Hana with his other arm. His claws caught her shoulder. They tore through her uniform. They cut into her skin. Human blood mixed with Bulgarian blood. But Hana did not stop. She did not even slow down. Pain was something her mind registered and then ignored. Later medical staff would be amazed. The wound on her shoulder should have been disabling. But Hana fought like she did not feel it. At 18 seconds, Hana pulled her knife out of Rix's armpit. She stabbed again, this time into his side, between the armor plates that protected his ribs. The blade went into his lung. At 19 seconds, she stabbed a third time. Into his other side, into his other lung. Rix fell to his knees. He could not breathe. His lungs were filling with blood. At 20 seconds, Hana stepped behind Rix. She grabbed his head with one hand. Her knife went to his throat. But the knife was small. It was designed for utility, not for cutting through the thick muscles and spine of a Bulgarian warrior. At 21 seconds, Hana saw Rix's ceremonial blade. It hung on his belt. Bulgarian warriors carried these blades as symbols of honor. They kept them razor sharp. It was tradition. It was pride. At 22 seconds, Hana took Rix's own blade. She held it in her hand. It was heavier than her knife. Perfectly balanced. Made for cutting. At 23 seconds, Hana cut through Rix's neck. One smooth motion. The blade went through muscle, through spine, through everything. Rix's head came free from his body. The timestamp stopped there. 23 seconds from entry to finish. In the control room, nobody spoke. They stared at the screens. Commander Vexel's face had turned pale. His species did not show emotion easily, but now his face showed horror. "What is she?" a technician whispered. "She is human," Vexel said quietly. "We thought we knew what that meant. We were wrong." On the monitors, they watched Hana pick up Rix's head. She held it by the cranial ridge. The head was heavy, 20 pounds at least. She carried it like it weighed nothing. Medical alarms were still screaming. Doyen's vitals were almost flat. The medical team was moving through the corridors toward his position. But they had to be careful. They did not know if Hana would attack them too. "Send in security," someone said. "She killed 3 cadets. She needs to be contained. Are you volunteering to contain her?" Vexel asked. Nobody answered. Hana walked toward the exit door. The cameras followed her progress. Purple blood dripped from her clothes, from her hair, from the head she carried. Her own blood dripped from her shoulder wound. She left a trail behind her. Security teams gathered at the exit. 20 soldiers. Multiple species. All armed with stun weapons. Some had lethal weapons too, just in case. The door opened. Hana walked out. The security teams raised their weapons. 20 guns pointed at one blood-covered human. "Drop the head," the security captain said. He was Korthian like Commander Vexel. His voice was loud, commanding. "Drop it now and get on the ground." Hana looked at him. Her eyes were empty, cold, like looking into deep space. She did not drop the head. She did not get on the ground. She walked forward. The security captain stepped back. He could not help it. Something primal inside him said to move away from this creature. Every instinct said she was dangerous. More dangerous than anything he had faced before. I said, "Drop it," the captain said again, but his voice was not as strong now. "No," Hana said. Her voice was quiet, calm. "I am taking this to Commander Vexel. You can shoot me if you want, but I will keep walking until you do." The captain looked at his soldiers. They looked back at him. Nobody wanted to shoot. Not because they felt mercy, because they were afraid. Afraid that even wounded, even stunned, she might reach them before she went down. Afraid of what a human could do in 1 or 2 seconds. "Let her through." Commander Vexel's voice came through the comm system. "All teams, let her through. Do not engage." The security teams parted. They made a path. Hana walked between them. Purple blood dripped on the clean floor. She left footprints. She carried her burden. Behind her, in the combat deck, medical teams finally reached Doyen. They found him in a pool of blood. His heart had stopped. His lungs had collapsed. He had been clinically dead for 90 seconds, but humans were hard to kill. Harder than the coalition species knew. The medical team started emergency procedures. Human procedures, different from what they used on other species. Humans could come back from death if you were fast enough, if you knew what to do. They shocked Doyen's heart. Once, twice, 3 times. They pumped his chest. They breathed air into his lungs. They injected chemicals that forced his body to fight for life. On the monitors, Doyen's vital signs flickered. Weak, unstable, but present. "He is alive," the medical chief reported. "Barely. We need to get him to surgery now." Commander Vexel heard this. Relief flooded through him. If the human died, there would be war. Earth would demand justice. And after seeing what one human could do in 23 seconds, Vexel did not want to face what all humans could do. Hana walked through the corridors of Station Kepler 9. People moved out of her way. Aliens of every species. They pressed themselves against walls. They watched her pass with wide eyes. She reached the command center. The door opened. Commander Vexel stood inside. He looked at her. At the blood. At the head she carried. At the cold emptiness in her eyes, Hana walked up to him. She stopped 3 feet away. She dropped Rix's head at his feet. It rolled slightly. It stopped with the face looking up. The expression frozen. Surprise, fear. Understanding that came too late. "You let him murder my friend," Hana said. Her voice was still calm. Still. The emergency tribunal was called 6 hours after the incident. Representatives from 15 different species gathered in the main council chamber of Station Kepler 9. They sat in a circle around a central platform. The lights were bright. Everything would be recorded. Everything would be transmitted across the galaxy. This was not a normal tribunal. This was history being made. Hana Kim sat on the platform. She was alone. They had given her clean clothes finally. A simple gray jumpsuit. Her shoulder wound had been treated and bandaged. She had been allowed to shower. The blood was gone from her skin and hair, but everyone in the room could still see it. The blood, the violence, the 23 seconds that changed everything. Commander Vexel sat in the circle. He looked tired. He had not slept since the incident. He had been answering questions from his superiors for hours. His career was over. He knew it. But that was the least of his worries now. The tribunal chairman was a Thessian elder named Kira. She had silver skin and eyes that had seen centuries of life. Her people were known for wisdom and fairness. She spoke first. "We are here to determine what happened in Training Sector 7, Kira said. 3 cadets are dead. 1 cadet nearly died. We must understand the truth." She turned to Hana. "Cadet Kim, you killed 3 Bulgarian warriors. You did this in 23 seconds. The footage is clear. Do you deny this?" "No," Hana said. Her voice was steady. "I do not deny it." "Did they attack you first?" "No, I attacked them." Murmurs went through the council. Several representatives looked shocked. Self-defense was one thing, first strike was another. "Why did you attack them?" Kira asked. "Because they murdered my friend," Hana said. Because Rix changed his weapon to live ammunition. Because he executed Doyen during what was supposed to be a training exercise. Because Commander Vexil failed to maintain safety protocols. All eyes turned to Vexil. He stood slowly. I take full responsibility, Vexil said. We check weapons before exercises, but Rix must have switched his weapon after the check. Or he modified it somehow, I do not know. But it happened under my watch. Show us the footage, Kira said. The screens lit up around the chamber. They showed the combat deck. They showed Doyen running. They showed Rix raising his weapon. The red glow that should have been blue. The shots that should have stunned but instead killed. They showed Doyen falling, the blood, the medical alarms, the vital signs dropping to nothing. Then they showed Hana. They showed the 23 seconds, every moment, every movement, every death she delivered. When the footage ended, the chamber was silent. Some of the representatives looked ill. Violence was not unknown in the galaxy, but this kind of violence, this efficient, brutal, purposeful violence, this was different. You moved with military precision, said a representative from the Korthan Empire. That was not random combat. That was training, elite training. Yes, Hana said. Earth prepared us before sending us to the coalition. Prepared you for what? The Korthan asked. For peace or for war? For survival, Hana answered. We knew we would be underestimated. We knew some species would see us as weak. We knew we needed to protect ourselves. Kira leaned forward. Cadet Kim, I have reviewed Earth's file with the coalition. Your species presented yourself as peaceful, as gentle, as seeking friendship among the stars. Was that a lie? No, Hana said. We are peaceful. We do seek friendship. But peace does not mean weakness. Friendship does not mean we accept murder. Earth has a saying, walk softly and carry a big stick. We walked softly, until someone gave us a reason not to. You killed 3 people, another representative said. He was Korthian, from the same species as Vexil. 3 warriors, trained fighters. You killed them with a knife. How is this possible? Hana looked at him for a long moment. Then she spoke. Earth is what you call a death world, she said. We evolved there. Everything on Earth evolved to survive, to hunt, to kill. The gravity is stronger than most coalition worlds. The weather is violent. The animals are dangerous. Humans survived by being smarter, by being tougher, by never giving up. She stood up. The guards tensed, but she just wanted them to see her fully. We are persistence hunters, Hana continued. We can track prey for days without stopping. We can run until anything else drops from exhaustion. We heal from injuries that would kill other species. We adapt. We survive. And when we need to, we fight. But you appeared so weak, someone said. So harmless. Because that is what you wanted to see, Hana said. You saw our small size, our soft skin. You did not see what was underneath. You did not see millions of years of evolution. You did not see the weapons we built, the wars we fought, the training we developed. She sat back down. You judged us by your standards. That was your mistake. Kira raised her hand for silence. We need to address the central question. Was this self-defense or murder? The law is clear. Killing in self-defense is permitted. Killing in revenge is not. It was defense, Hana said. Defense of another. Doyen was dying. The medical alert had triggered. But Rix and his friends were laughing. They were celebrating. They were standing there with weapons while my friend bled out on the floor. But they were not actively attacking you, the Korthan representative said. They had weapons, Hana replied. They had just committed murder. They represented immediate threat. In human law, I had the right to neutralize that threat. Human law does not apply here, the representative said. Coalition law applies. Then coalition law is broken, Hana said. Her voice was hard now. Coalition law did not protect Doyen. Coalition law did not stop Rix from changing his weapon. Coalition law did not save my friend's life. So I used human law. I protected what coalition law failed to protect. The chamber erupted in debate. Representatives argued. Some said Hana should be punished. Some said she was justified. Some said this proved humans were too dangerous for the coalition. Some said, this proved the coalition needed better protection for all cadets. Kira called for order. When the chamber was quiet again, she spoke. We will review all evidence. We will make a decision. But first I want to address something else. Something that concerns me greatly. She looked directly at Hana. Cadet Kim, you said human protocol engaged. What does this mean exactly? Hana met her eyes. It means Earth knows what happened here. We sent an automatic report the moment Doyen was shot. It means Earth is watching. It means Earth is waiting to see what justice looks like in the coalition. Is that a threat? The Korthan representative asked. It is a fact, Hana said. Earth joined the coalition in good faith. We sent our people to train, to learn, to integrate. But we also sent them with protection protocols. If coalition law cannot protect humans, then Earth will protect humans. You are saying Earth will go to war over this? Someone asked. I am saying Earth will not accept the murder of its people, Hana said. What Earth does depends on what the coalition does. Silence fell again. This was bigger than anyone had realized. This was not just about 3 dead cadets. This was about humanity's place in the galaxy. About whether the coalition could be trusted. About whether peace would hold or break. Kira looked tired suddenly. We will take a recess. The tribunal will reconvene in 4 hours. Cadet Kim, you will remain in custody, but you will be treated with respect and dignity. Hana nodded. Guards came to escort her out. She walked calmly between them. No resistance. No fear. In the medical wing, Doyen Park opened his eyes. He had been in surgery for 8 hours. His chest was wrapped in bandages. Tubes and wires connected him to machines. His body felt heavy. Every breath hurt, but he was alive. A doctor stood over him. The doctor was Thessian, with kind eyes. Do not try to move, the doctor said. You were very badly injured. You died actually for 93 seconds, but we brought you back. Hana, Doyen whispered. His voice was weak. Where is Hana? She is safe, the doctor said. She is in custody, but safe. What did she do? Doyen asked. Though he thought he knew Hana. He knew what she would do if he was hurt. She saved you, the doctor said, and she showed the galaxy what humans really are. News of the incident spread across the coalition. Every species, every planet, everyone heard about the human who killed 3 Bulgarian warriors in 23 seconds. Everyone saw the footage, reactions varied. Some species were horrified, some were impressed, some were afraid. Some were angry that humans had hidden their true nature. On Earth, the government issued a statement. It was short, direct. We have been informed of the attack on our citizen, Cadet Doyen Park. We have reviewed the evidence. We support Cadet Hana Kim's actions fully. We await the coalition's response. We will accept nothing less than full justice. The message was clear. Earth was patient, but Earth was also ready. If the coalition failed, Earth would act. In her cell, Hana sat on the bench and thought about home. She thought about Earth, blue skies, green forests, oceans that stretched to the horizon. She had not seen these things in 6 months. She missed them. But more than that, she thought about Doyen, about whether he would survive, about whether she had acted fast enough. She had killed 3 people today. She felt no guilt about it. They had murdered her friend. They had laughed about it. They deserved what they got. But she wondered what would happen now. Would the coalition accept human justice? Would they understand? Or would this be the beginning? The tribunal reconvened exactly 4 hours later. The chamber was more crowded now. More representatives had arrived. This decision would affect the entire coalition. Everyone wanted to be present. Hana was brought back to the central platform. She looked the same as before. Calm, steady, unafraid. The representatives watched her with different eyes now. They had spent 4 hours reviewing Earth's history. What they found had shocked them. Kira, the Thessian elder, stood to speak. Before we announce our decision, we must address something. During the recess, this tribunal accessed Earth's historical database. What we found was disturbing. She activated a screen. Images appeared. Human history, wars, weapons, violence on a scale that made coalition representatives turn away. Earth has fought thousands of wars, Kira said. Your species has weapons that can destroy entire planets. You have fought with swords, guns, bombs, chemical agents, nuclear weapons. You have killed billions of your own people in conflicts. She turned to Hana. Why did you hide this from us? Why did you present yourselves as peaceful when your history is written in blood? Hana stood. Because we learned, she said simply. Yes, we fought wars. Yes, we built terrible weapons. Yes, we hurt each other. But we also learned to stop. We learned to cooperate. We learned to build instead of destroy. By the time we reached the stars, we had achieved peace on Earth. Real peace. Not because we forgot how to fight, but because we chose not to. But you still know how to fight, a representative said. Obviously. Of course, Hana replied. Peace is not forgetting violence. Peace is choosing not to use violence unless necessary. We hoped it would never be necessary. We hoped the coalition would be different from our history. We hoped we could just be friends and partners. So you lied to us, the Korthan representative said. We did not lie, Hana said. Her voice was firm. We told you we came in peace. That was true. We told you we wanted friendship. That was true. We just did not tell you what we could do if pushed. Would you have welcomed us if you knew? Would you have let us join if you saw our history first? Silence, because they all knew the answer. No. They would have rejected humanity. They would have feared humans. They would have kept Earth isolated. You manipulated us, someone said. We survived, Hana corrected. We did what we needed to do to integrate into galactic society. We showed you our best side. We saved our worst side for emergencies. Like this one, Kira raised her hand. Let us move to the decision. After reviewing all evidence, after consulting coalition law, after discussing Earth's history, we have reached a conclusion. The chamber went quiet. This was the moment. This decision would define human coalition relations for generations. Cadet Hana Kim, Kira said formally, you are cleared of all charges. The tribunal finds your actions justified under coalition self-defense laws, specifically defense of another in immediate mortal danger. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives looked angry. Others looked relieved. However, Kira continued, this incident has revealed serious failures in coalition protocols. Commander Vexel, you are removed from your position effective immediately. You will face additional charges for negligence resulting in death. Vexel stood. He nodded. He had expected this. He accepted it. Furthermore, Kira said, the coalition must address humanity's classification. We placed humans in Category C, non-aggressive species, suitable for diplomatic and support roles. This was clearly incorrect. She looked at Hana. Humans are hereby reclassified as Category A prime, apex combat species, suitable for all military and security roles. This classification is given to only 7 other species in the coalition.
Species known for exceptional combat capability. More murmurs.
Category A prime was reserved for the galaxy's most dangerous species, the best warriors, the elite. Additionally, Kira said, new protocols are established. Any lethal force used against any coalition member will result in immediate tribunal and maximum penalties. No exceptions, no cultural justifications. Life is sacred across all species, she paused. The coalition failed Cadet Doyen Park. We allowed prejudice and underestimation to create conditions where murder occurred. We will not allow this again. Safety protocols are being completely redesigned. Commander Vexel's replacement will be human. That caused the most reaction. A human commander? After only 6 months in the coalition? Earth has proven their people can handle responsibility, Kira said. They can handle command. They can handle difficult decisions. We were wrong to doubt this. She looked at Hana again. Cadet Kim, you are free to go. Your actions, while violent, were justified. You may return to training if you wish, or you may request transfer, or you may return to Earth. The choice is yours. Hana bowed her head slightly. Thank you, Elder Kira, I will stay. I will finish my training. But I have one request. Speak, Kira said. Rix's actions cannot be seen as just one individual's crime, Hana said. He was enabled by a culture that viewed humans as weak. by instructors who tolerated harassment, by systems that failed to protect us. If you want humans to trust the coalition, you must address these deeper problems. We will, Kira promised. Changes are already being implemented. But understand, change takes time. There are 47 species in the coalition, each with different cultures, different views. We cannot force everyone to accept humans overnight. I understand, Hana said, but respect can be taught faster than acceptance. Teach them to respect humans, even if they do not accept us. Teach them that we are not prey. We are predators who choose peace. There is a difference. The tribunal ended. Representatives filed out, discussing what they had witnessed. Some were excited about the changes. Some were worried. All were thinking about what this meant for the future. Hana was escorted to the medical wing. She needed to see Doyen. She needed to know he was truly alive. The doctors led her into his room. Doyen was awake. He looked terrible, pale, weak, covered in bandages, but his eyes were clear. He smiled when he saw her. "Hey," he said. His voice was rough. "Hey," Hana replied. She sat in the chair beside his bed. She wanted to hug him but was afraid of hurting him. "I heard what you did," Doyen said. "Everyone heard. They are calling you the Human Storm, the Wraith, the Death in 23 seconds. Hana grimaced. "I hate those names. Too bad," Doyen said. "You are famous now. You showed the galaxy what we are." "I just did what needed to be done," Hana said quietly. "You would have done the same for me." "Yes," Doyen agreed. "But I probably would have taken longer than 23 seconds. They both smiled. It was a weak joke, but it felt good to joke, to feel normal for a moment. "How long until you recover?" Hana asked. "Doctors say 3 weeks," Doyen replied. "Maybe 4. They say I am healing faster than expected. Human resilience, they called it." "Good," Hana said, "because I am not doing the rest of this training without my partner." "I would not miss it," Doyen said. "We are making history here. First humans in the coalition. First humans to show we are not to be messed with. First humans to achieve Category A' classification. First humans to make everyone nervous," Hana added. "That too," Doyen agreed. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Outside the window, stars drifted by. Station Kepler 9 continued its orbit. Life continued, but everything had changed. 3 days later, the new training class began. Hana walked into the training hall. Doyen was still in medical, but he would join when he could. She was alone for now. The other cadets were already there. They looked at her differently now. No more dismissive glances, no more laughter. They watched her with caution, with respect, sometimes with fear. Nira, the Thessian, approached her. "I am glad you are back," Nira said. "I was worried they would punish you." "They cleared me," Hana said. "Justified actions. I saw the footage," Nira said quietly. "I still cannot believe what I saw." "How did you move like that?" "Training," Hana said. "And necessity. When someone you care about is dying, you find capabilities you did not know you had." A new instructor entered the hall. She was human. Captain Minji Cho from Earth Special Forces. She had been sent to replace Commander Vexil. She was small like most humans. She looked ordinary. But everyone in the room knew better now. They knew what humans could do. "Listen up," Captain Cho said. Her voice was strong, clear. "I am your new combat instructor. Things are going to change around here. First change, everyone trains equally. No more special treatment based on size or species. No more assumptions about who is strong and who is weak. You all start from 0. You all prove yourselves through performance." She looked around the room. Second change, safety is paramount. Anyone who violates safety protocols will be removed immediately. No second chances. No excuses. What happened to Cadet Park will never happen again. Not on my watch. The cadets nodded. They understood. This was a new era. Third change, Captain Cho said. You will learn human combat techniques. Not because humans are superior, but because you need to understand different fighting styles. You need to be prepared for anything. The galaxy is big. There are threats out there we have not encountered yet. You need every tool possible to face them. She walked to the center of the training hall. Now pair up. We start with basics. Hand-to-hand combat. No weapons, no powers. Just skill and determination. Let us see what you are made of.